Hello everyone and welcome to the IAM community channel. Today we will be talking about the topic how to pick the right stock. Investment in equity markets is a very vast and complicated subject, and it is also a very nuanced subject. Now, this session, due to a lack of time as well as a lack of my own experience, I would say it is only meant for a certain section of investors who are looking to build their own portfolio from a long-term basis, or as we call them, from a value investing perspective. And this does not cover the entire gamut of the different investment products which are available and the different investment strategies which are available. So please don't take this as a masterclass on investing. It's just trying to pick a very small topic within investing and trying to address that in a simplified manner. One disclaimer without before I start is that the views which I present here are my own and they do not represent any organization or any other person. And I'm also not going to be recommending any specific stock or a company for any investment, nor will I be giving any buy sell recommendation on any instrument, whether equity or otherwise. So, with that disclaimer in place, we can start. So, how to pick the right stock? There are a lot of complicated strategies. There are a lot of complicated research papers which have been shared on this topic, which have been floated around for quite some time. And it is something which has flummoxed even the most knowledgeable people about finance, about money, about investments. And now definitely for people like us who have a 9 to 6 job, who have very limited time in terms of doing a very in-depth analysis or research. How do people with a regular job, how do they build their portfolio? Is it necessary for us to depend only on a mutual fund or an asset manager to manage our equity investments? Definitely not. I think there are certain simplified ways in which we, as the normal, the mango people, the Aam Janta, can also build a portfolio consisting of specific stocks and not necessarily going for a mutual fund or an ETF for that matter. What I like to start with before I make any investment, what I like to do, the first step which I personally follow is to articulate my macroeconomic view. What I mean here is not just when I say macroeconomic view, I don't just mean the GDP or the growth rate of the economy, but basically what is the economic story that I'm betting on? What is the size of the opportunity or the market which I'm betting on? Now, this bet or this economic story might refer to an entire country, let's say India in this case, or it might be specific to an industry. For example, somebody might be betting on a growth in the FMCG sector, or somebody else might be betting on a growth in the auto sector. So, what is the overall view from a macro perspective? What is the opportunity that you expect to be there in the coming time frame? Your time frame may be 6 months, it may be 2 years, it may be 5 years, or it may be 10 years. But what is the story that you are seeing which will be unfolding in the coming time, and what is the size of that opportunity? If you have that in place, you basically know that, okay, this is the industry or this is the sector that you want to be betting on. So that is the first step for me, that what is my macroeconomic view? What is my view on the opportunity or the market? Then the next step, once I know that, okay, this is the story, this is what I'm expecting, then I start studying the specific business which I want to invest in. I see that what are the different companies in that sector. I see, is there a company which has a competitive advantage? Do they have scalability? Do they have the required financial strength to exploit the opportunity? Financial strength and scalability can, and there are a lot of different ways to do it. Some people look at the cash flow statement, others look at the debt to equity ratios and other ratios which are available, leverage ratios which are there. There's all sorts of different things which people can look at when they're evaluating a particular business. There is also to the question of corporate governance. What are the ethics of the company? What is the reputation of the leaders of the company? What kind of synergies and partnerships this company has? Are there some existing businesses which the company can leverage upon? Are there any assets, tangible or otherwise, which will help the company grow? All sorts of things. It's a very I would say a step where you need to get into the details. You need to sort of really do a deep dive on all the companies which for you are a potential target, and see what will work and what will not work, and then apply your judgment. Then another thing which I prefer doing before I make an investment is I try to see what is my experience of buying the product of the company. Now, I agree that we have to understand that in all the cases, it may not be possible. But wherever possible, I try to see that how do I feel about the end product of the company? Do I like the product? Am I myself a user of the product? And even if it's easier to do it for a company in the FMCG sector because it doesn't cost us too much money, and most of the products we will be using in our day-to-day lives. But even for the larger ticket items, I think it is possible to do it in a similar fashion because let's say you want to invest in the auto sector. Now, you don't necessarily have to buy a car before buying a stock, but you can at least do a simple step of going to the showroom and experiencing the entire journey. How do you feel about the different models that the company has? What are the different competitors? And see that whether you feel like buying that product, and what are your immediate friends and family doing? Do you know people who are buying a similar product or not? So that will give you an insight whether whatever the product portfolio that the company has, is it working or not working. And to me, that's an important input. Again, this is a personal view. If not, everybody may follow it. But I feel much more comfortable in buying a stock if I'm also a buyer of the product of the company. So that was one of the steps. Another thing, we did the macroeconomic view. We look at maybe what is the story that we want to bet on, what is the growth expected, what is the size of the opportunity. Then we look at the company level data. We look at what is the competitive advantage, the financial strength, and then we look at the product portfolio of the company. Do we like the products? Will we be a buyer of that product? So after all of these things, let's say we have arrived at what are the good companies to invest in after following all these steps. Now comes the step of the price point. Now, a growth or a profit in investment can come through multiple ways. In which I would say, in all the growth in the price of a stock can come in two ways. Either the price to earning ratio of the company expands, which means let's say the PE ratio of a company sits today, let's say at 20, and we expect that it's an undervalued stock and it will go up to 40. So that is where we can make money on our investment. Or it may be that we expect a huge earnings growth in the company, which basically means that the company will earn huge profits in the coming years, and that is what will lead to a growth in the price of the stock. So we have to be very clear that whenever we are buying a stock or whenever we are investing in a business, what is it that we are expecting to happen? Is it do we think that it is an undervalued company which will see a price correction in the upward direction, or do we see that it's a very high, it's going to be a high growth business in the coming years, and it is the earnings which will give us our profits? It is basically we are betting on the growth in the size and the earnings of the company. So and many a times they will coincide, and many a times they will be separate. So we have to be very clear that what is it that we are expecting to happen. And finally, what we have to realize, which is the final step, is that market is supreme. Even if after all the kinds of ratio analysis that we do, even after all the kinds of screeners that we use, all the kind of experts that we listen to, the market tells you what is right and what is wrong. And that is where we have to sort of accept defeat, that we may always not be right, even after following all the steps, even after following a lot of analysis, a lot of data. The market is supreme. We have to be open to change in our own thinking, in our own thought process, and in our own analysis. And we have to accept our mistakes and failures. Everybody cannot be, there's nobody in the world who can be right all the time about stock picking. Even the ace investors like Warren Buffett or Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, even they have publicly admitted that they have made some bad investments in the past. And not just bad investments. I think from a decision making standpoint, there have been instances when people have exited an investment too soon, when they have booked a profit too early. Even that is another kind of a different kind of a mistake when we talk about stock picking. So all of these things are there, and that is where I would say I would like to top off, or rather end the discussion here. It was a rather short one. What the biggest thing which I feel is important is that one has to choose for himself. One has to see maybe what works for me, what works for me may not work for everybody else. There are people who do algo trading, which is like a black box. Nobody knows what is going inside. And then there are people who invest only in gold and real estate, which is like one of the safest asset classes compared to anything else. And then there's the entire spectrum in between that, starting from something as vanilla as a fixed deposit, or then you start graduating into things like ETFs or mutual funds. And then there are people who do technical analysis. There are people who rely on charting and all those kind of things. There are people who rely on robo advisors. So there's a lot of different flavors available. There's a lot of different strategies which are going along. It's not that one strategy or one way of investing is better than the other. It depends upon you as a person, what suits you, what is your temperament. If you think that you will be good in technical analysis and you will be able to make a living out of making short-term bets, making short-term trades, then go for it. There are a lot of people who have made profits that way. There are a lot of successful investors even in that field. Algo trading is an emerging field. Then there are even the concepts like social trading are now coming to India. Social trading is something which is already now becoming quite mainstream in the West, and slowly there are some platforms which are trying to do that for India. So like that, there's no one size fits all approach. It is definitely about what suits you and what suits your temperament. Actually, I would say temperament is the biggest thing in the market, because many a times, even after all your analysis, your result might be wrong, or it may happen that you're wrong only for a short period of time. Maybe there's a short term correction, but if you ride it out, your actual thesis actually works out. So temperament is one of the key cornerstones when it comes to investment. You should be able to hold on to your thoughts, and you should be able to have a very calm and composed mind when you're investing. And likewise, I think, and that is what determines the portfolio allocation and asset classes where you invest. So I think that's it from my side. And I hope this was a session which was helpful to some of the people. And hope to see you again soon. Thank you.